This is Quarantine Hearts, and today we're going to explore After the Gold Rush.
Right, episode 3. This is released in 1970, and it is Neil Young working with Crazy Horse on some of this. Stephen Stills, Greg Reeves, who I think was the bass player in the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young album, Deja Vu, I believe it was, and Nils Lofgren, who was a young piano player, and he's all over this, as well as Jack Nitzsche, who was will also continue to be involved with Neil Young throughout the 70s. Produced by David Briggs, who, by the way, I had mentioned he was working with Neil Young throughout his career, but David Briggs passed away in 95, I just read, so I sort of made mention that he was still working with him, but that was wrong. David Briggs passed away in 1995.
But then, so the other guy who was, died, like, when he was really young, it was, like...
Danny Whitten.
Yes.
So Danny Whitten is on this album, the guitarist in Crazy Horse. He's only on a few songs. I couldn't quite pin down which ones, but he's on 2 or 3.
Maybe I Can Really Love.
That one, probably Southern Man, which is sort of the rocker on this album. And it's, I guess it was initially inspired by a screenplay, so it says on the back here, by Dean Stockwell.
I Can Really Love is pretty, like, what a rocker on this album, too.
I agree. But Dean Stockwell wrote a screenplay called After the Gold Rush. And the song After the Gold Rush and Cripple Creek Ferry were going to be part of this movie, but the movie never happened.
Which Cripple Creek Ferry and Till the Morning Comes. Till the Morning Comes is the last track on side 1. Cripple Creek Ferry is the last track on side 2. And they're both a scat 1 minute.
Right. So this is on the Reprise label, of course. And there's a couple of really significant songs for his career, like career-making songs on this. Only Love Can Break Your Heart is probably one of his best ballads, or just best songs. What a great sentiment. Southern Man, which created quite a stir and when it was released, was all...
Good song.
Yeah, a rocker. It was basically Neil standing up for human rights. And he's talking about, when are the, oppressed black people of this country going to get sort of paid back, essentially.
Which this record is...
He was being very critical of Southern culture and that. And then it inadvertently or inadvertently or intentionally caused Leonard Skinner to write Sweet Home Alabama as a response song. So,
yes, Camera Woman.
Thanks, Piano Woman. Yes, for filling in on facts.
Piano Woman.
Camera. Did you say Piano Woman?
No, you said Camera
Just me.
Woman.
I think as I was reading piano. In any case, After the Gold Rush, great album. Oh Lonesome Me is an old country song, right?
Right. But I think
What
is
do you want to say about
interesting is this is a black album. It's a black cover. It's a black bag. In here is him.
Oh yeah, let's show the
him
gatefold.
sitting here with the guitars.
Awesome gatefold. The cover.
And black vinyl, but Neil Young always says that.
The cover is originally a photograph of Neil Young walking through Greenwich Village in New York City.
Right.
And you can't see it, but they cropped out Graham Nash. Graham Nash was originally part of this photo. Graham Nash, of course.
Like that other person there.
Yeah, this is just a woman he was passing by in the street.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we say about this album?
On the back looks like a bit of like racist.
Yeah, somebody's
jewelry.
butt. Whose butt is it? I meant to look this up. Who do you think?
That's not a butt, is it?
Well, it's someone's pant. Well, someone's jeans.
Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. Anyway. I love this album. It's a good late night album, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a hit. I was reading he had multiple singles that were, I think they never got super high, but I think but Only Love Can Break Your Heart was like number 33, got to the Billboard charts, and the other singles was When You Dance I Can Really Love. So he did have some hit singles on this. It's been named one of the top albums of all time. Multiple lists. Rolling Stone put it in there.
Kind of like Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere, which was our second episode.
Yeah, all these Neil Young albums from this time are seminal records, and we're going to see many of them appear in year-end lists. It's up the top of my list. So what do you think? It's the top. So far this is a pretty strong album, right? And the other cool thing is this insert, which every time I look at it, I always feel like, some very dedicated fan hand wrote all the lyrics, but then when you look at it closer, and our fine our beautiful camera woman pointed this out, the Printed in USA Reprise thing, but Yeah, this is the, you can find this. A lot of the copies probably have it. The handwritten lyrics that I'm assuming would have been Neil Young's writing. But for some reason, Silas, you pointed this out. These are not all the songs on this album. Like, some of these songs are not on this album. So maybe this was someone. I'll have to look and see. Maybe this was the owner of this record who wrote out other songs that are not on here. Wondering's not on here. Sugar Mountain's not on here. Sea of Madness? What is that? Big Waves? I don't know. So strange, but this is the insert. It's got a little bit tattered, but still really cool, right?
You wonder what Camera Woman's name is? Sorry, but it's a mystery.
Mystery.
But what next we're going to explore is a soundtrack. We'll talk about that. It's a song that you might know called Journey Through the Past.
Yeah,
And
which
it's a
was
soundtrack of that.
of a film he made too. It's a weird soundtrack album, which I guess we're talking about that next. But after the
Yes.
Gold Rush,
And it's a 2 LP soundtrack. It's a dope.
right. After the Gold Rush, I mean, I feel like there's so much more to say about this album. It's probably the record I've listened to the most, I would say, for any Neil Young record. It's like this is one where I'm like, oh yeah, I know it's this song. I know all the names without even looking.
I would think everybody knows This Is Nowhere, but
That one is all right. So let's just talk about what we want to grade these. How many shakies are you gonna give this one?
I'm going to give this 8 shakies.
8 shakies. Okay. So not quite as good as Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere for you.
No, but still pretty good.
I'm gonna give it 9. It's 9 shakies for me. It's not perfect. I'll say it's not perfect because, it's fantastic. I can't be critical of it anyway. For some reason, I think Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. I love the raw, loose sort of, almost minimalism of that record.
Which you
And
can find on our second episode.
Right. And this one is I mean, it's hard to even give it a downgrade, but I'm gonna give it a 9. I mean, it's top 5 Neil Young album for sure. Camera Woman, we'd like to get your input on these shakies. What do you think?
I have to say this is also a 10 shaky record for
10
me.
shakies for the
It's
Camera Woman.
10 shakies for After the Gold Rush.
All right.
Now let's mention the shows again that we have. I am 9 Years Radio. At the beginning when I said "the back with you" is something new that I'm saying on my show. When you hear my show, you're going to hear that
Right.
many times.
Right.
So I decided to do it on this episode. And if you would like to subscribe to Quarantine Hearts, it's a YouTube channel. This is the 3rd one. Before this, we got episode 1, Neil Young, and episode 2, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. This is episode 3, After the Gold Rush.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do it just about every day. See if we can stick to that schedule.
We'll see you tomorrow for Journey Through the Past.
All right. Thanks for watching.